tossers have thrown it out the door with their behaviour this week. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should absolutely look at themselves in the mirror and wonder what the have they been doing. They were hissing at us and calling us cheats in the Lord's long room, and they have the gall to talk to us about the spirit of cricket. Absolute bullshit.
There's a big appeal that's hit him on the pad. He's out. Lions gone. New South Wales are 9 down. Onto Sydney Road, and it's hit a car. Oh, I think it's hit a car. What a way to bring up your 50.
All you want is to leave it all behind. Now there is a simple remedy to stay fit for all eternity.
Hello, everybody. What a magic afternoon for Australia at the Adelaide Oval. A stirring day. If Australia's bowlers didn't put Australia in prime position yesterday to retain the Ashes this test match, the batters have done it today. Australia finished 4 for 271 runs. They are 356 runs ahead. Travis Head is 142 not out. Alex Carey, 52 not out. The two South Australians have put on 122 runs together in front of their adoring faithful. And it was appropriate that Travis Head, who turned the tide of this test series in Perth, let's not forget when he strode to the wicket at Perth Stadium, this series was evenly balanced and he smashed it away from them. And then this afternoon, if England had any hope, they needed to bowl Australia out. And a nightmare scenario for Stokes and England would be Travis Head staying out there, because we know when he bats, he scores so quickly, he's so destructive. And it was appropriate then that Head put the final nail in this English coffin that is going to be so gleefully buried here in Australia. That's right. Bazball's ashes will be staying in Australia. It is disintegrating in front of us. And it was at the bat of Travis Head today. It was his 11th test century, his 4th in a row at the Adelaide Oval, and his 4th in Ashes cricket. He's a big game player, and we've seen it time and time again, and we saw it again this afternoon. Symbolically, Ben Stokes looks absolutely cooked. His captain cooked, just like Joe Root was 4 years ago. He didn't bowl. He hit his head at one point. He left the field. He looks dehydrated. You know, he is symbolic of this team that has just fallen apart in front of our eyes. You know, I have to say it, but those arrogant pricks are absolutely eating humble pie right now. So, I mean, what a day for Australia. I mean, that's the real talking point. There was no real stage wherever England were ever in the contest. They started the day with a bit of a rearguard action with Archer and Stokes. They got a couple of wickets at different times when Australia was batting, but they were always so far behind the game. They really needed to be chasing under 300. Australia is so far in front now. They're going to keep pushing this lead, and England are gone. It was an embarrassing performance. I think what summed up their performance for me, and what sums up this whole tour, what sums up Baz McCullum, what sums up this regime is in the third session today, Khawaja and Head started the session, and Will Jacks came on to bowl with the Ashes on the line, bowling absolute lollipops, as Jason Gillespie called them, doorknobs, just rolling out this absolute shithouse off spin. And that's with the Ashes on the line. That sums up their planning. That sums up their thoughts around going into the series. The fact that you've got Will Jacks bowling nude nuts when you've got the Ashes on the line. Terrible stuff. And Australia took full toll of them. And, you know, they've just gone so far in front. All right, let's look at the day. Start of the day, Stokes Stokes started the day with Archer. He got to his 50, his slowest in his career, off 159 balls. And Jofra Archer also made his highest test score. He went past his 38 from a couple of tests ago. And actually, England scored pretty quickly. They scored 47 runs in the first sort of half an hour, 40 minutes of play before Australia took the new ball. And they put on a century partnership, Archer and Stokes, to get them much closer. When they came together, the score was 8 for 168, a long way behind Australia's 370. But Archer brought up his 50 off 97 balls, and he and Stokes put on 106 to really add some respectability to the score. But it wasn't enough. England needed a lead, and they were still going to be far, far behind. And Stokes was bowled for 83 off Stark, of 198 balls. Just as Stokes was starting to get going, he drives at a ball that wasn't there. It was a big gap between bat and pad. Stokes driving well wide of his front pad, and the ball just cannoned between the two and onto the stumps. And that had the score 9 for 274. Stokes was furious. He'd been so disciplined. He'd shown the way to the others, but then, and look, he had to play some shots at that stage, but good ball from Stark. It was the only wicket he took in the innings, but it was a big one. And, Archer and Stokes had looked pretty good there. And I was actually feeling pretty good about Australia's batting to come, because I thought, geez, if Stokes and Archer can do this, I think Australia against England's shithouse bowling attack will be able to take advantage of these good conditions. And so it was to come. But and then Archer was the last man out for 51. Boland got the edge, and England were all out for 286. They trailed by 85. Stokes top scorer with 83, Archer 51, following on from his 5 wickets. Harry Brooks scored 45. For Australia's bowling, Scott Boland got the figures. The barrel 3 for 45. Pat Cummins on his return 3 for 69. Nathan Lyon 2 for 70, and Green and Stark 1 wicket each. And also 5 catches to Alex Carey. I didn't mention that yesterday, but what a match he's having. Century, 5 catches, and he's unbeaten on 50 overnight. It's a dream match for Alex Carey in front of his fans. And he is putting such an indelible mark on this series with some fine performances with the gloves and the bat. Batting at 6, taking on more responsibility and doing it so well. And, that was a classic Australian bowling performance. They were bowling in 40-degree heat yesterday, and they bowled so well. They bowled some absolute jaffers to get the wickets. And it was an all-round top performance from Australia's number 1 attack. Without Josh Hazlewood, that's our best attack, and they showed why. It was very impressive. So Australia had to bat for 20 minutes before lunch, and Weatherald was out LBW. The ball pitched outside leg stump, and he was given out LBW. The ball pitched outside leg stump, and he didn't refer it. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. From the naked eye, I thought, that's pitched outside leg. And he didn't refer it. Head didn't tell him to refer it. So he wanders off. And when you see the replay afterwards, the ball's well outside leg stump. So Bryden Cast got a lucky wicket there. And then Australia were 1 for 17 at lunch. But, Weatherald sort of gave his wicket away there. And it's very disappointing, because he and Head have looked good. And there was a failure of communication there. I think if you're the senior player in Travis Head, maybe you've got to urge Weatherald to do it. Even though Head was well off the wicket, you've got to say, look, just take a chance, do it. So anyway, no luck for Australia there, no luck for Weatherald. Australia 1 for 17 at lunch. Then after lunch, Travis, and this is why Travis Head's so dangerous, because he just keeps the scoreboard ticking over. Marnus was battling away. Eventually, he was out for 13 off 45 balls. But look, not a good innings from Marnus. He didn't look fluent, but he did take up time. He did take up balls. He did stick with Travis Head. When he was out, the score was 2 for 53. Australia already almost 150 in front at this stage. And as well, we know this English attack, they can't come back spell after spell. So if you can keep them out there, batters to come will benefit. So I thought, even though it wasn't a great innings from Marnus, just being out there for that hour after lunch just took a bit of sting out of the attack. Now, it said yesterday, Kadich went early proclaiming Mitchell Starc to get a ton. Did it again today. When Travis Head was 44, he talked about Travis Head getting his 100. Now, luckily for Kadich, it came off today, but I think he should just we don't need Simon Kadich jinxing all these players. At tea, Australia were 2 for 119. They just lost the one wicket in that session of Marnus Labuschagne, and Australia scored 102 runs. Khawaja had looked good, and they were bowling a lot of Will Jacks to him, and he loves that, just easy spin bowling, and he looked good. I have to say, Khawaja looked good. It was a very good batting conditions for him, slow pitch, and he played really well. Head was 68 not out at tea. And then, as I said at the top of the show, session 3, again, the Ashes are on the line. Australia at this stage are 200 in front. So England have to go, right, we have to come out, we have to bowl, we have to close to bowl Australia out this session. Have to take a lot of wickets and say we're chasing 350 in 2 days. England will back themselves to do that, those Bazball lunatics. So what do with the Ashes on the line? Will Jacks bowls absolute trash. And Australia just got going straight after the tea break. Admittedly, Khawaja is out for 40 of 51 deliveries. He just cut at a wide one off Jack's, got a top edge, and he was out for 40. A good partnership between he and Head that come together with the score 2 for 53 and put 86 runs on together. And you have to say, if you'd said at the beginning of the game, Khawaja will score 122 runs total in this game, replacing Steve Smith, you'd have taken that in a second. So great performance from Khawaja, and he looks better in the middle order because ball's a bit softer. He's he's 39 now. He turned 39 yesterday. Forgot to wish him happy birthday. But yeah, definitely looks better in the middle order. And I guess this poses questions for the next test match and the test match after. Are they going to try and fit Usman Khawaja in? Is it for Jake Weatherald? Is Weatherald going to miss out? I mean, because Khawaja's played 3 innings now and the Ashes failed at Perth, 82-40 today. I don't know. I think it's time to move on, but certainly he's posed a few questions for the selectors now. Then Cameron Green came out to join Usman Khawaja, and you're thinking perfect time for Greenie. Australia's ahead in the game. He needs runs. It's a good batting conditions. But what did he do? He's out for 7 driving. He was out caught at slip by Harry Brook, driving off Josh Tongue. Shocker of a shot. Simon Kadich was talking about it on commentary, and it's true. It was a genuine half volley, and he just didn't play properly. His foot wasn't to the ball. He played inside the line, edged it straight to Brook, and that had Australia 4 for 149. And look, I was never really nervous about Australia's chances of collapsing, but I did think back to Headingley in 2023 when Australia were cruising and there was a couple of wickets. I think, God, did Moeen Ali get Marnus and Smith both sweeping? And then that opened the door and England chased down a target and won that test match. So I was a little nervous, I guess, but genuine questions now have to be asked about Cameron Green. He's never made a test century in Australia. He averages under 30 at test cricket. He's averaging just 21 at test level since his 174 not out against New Zealand in Wellington in February 2024. And in the 14 innings since then, he's just made 1 half century. So I don't know. He's obviously a very talented cricketer, great bowler, but I think perhaps Bo Webster deserves a shot at being the number 1 all-rounder. And Cameron Green has to work out his approach to test cricket. I do think he could be a little bit like Steve Waugh. I don't know if a lot of listeners might not remember, but Steve Waugh took 25 tests maybe to score his first test century. And if it wasn't for his bowling and his athleticism, he probably wouldn't have played so many tests. But then once he got going, he obviously averaged 50 with about a test level. But Cameron Green just doesn't look like a test batter at the moment. He does in patches, but not consistently enough. So that brought Alex Carey to the crease, and this is a story for South Australians. Carey and Head, 2 local boys, good mates, a bit of yin and yang about them. Head, the relaxed character, and Carey, the more focused, driven athlete. And those two batted beautifully together, and they continue to take the game away from England. Positive cricket. Carey's striking the ball so beautifully at the moment, and it's too easy. England drop the field back. There's singles everywhere. You've got Root and Jacks bowling, rolling out, as I said before, door handles or nude nuts, and it was just too easy for Australia. And boy, did Head and Carey take advantage of it. But then Head gets to 99, and he gets in the 90s, and all of a sudden things start to get nervous. The field comes in, Root's bowling to Head, and then Archer's bowling to Head, and he just doesn't bring up the century. And then Head on 99 edges one to gully off Archer. Harry Brook drops a pretty simple catch at that level, low to his left, and Head got a chance on 99. And I remember Greg Blewett in South Australia getting out for 99, maybe twice, definitely once. So I had memories of maybe that happening to Travis Head. But, Travis Head owes Harry Brook a beer, I think, after the series, because he dropped a soda, and then next over, Head smashed Root down the ground for 4 and brought up his century off 146 balls, 11th Test ton, 4th in a row in Adelaide, 4th versus England, and a fine innings. And you look at the impression that Head has made on this series, and it is significant. He did it in the last Ashes down under, and he's done it here. Then Carey and Head went on to bring up their century partnership, and it's unbeaten 122. Alex Carey brought up his 50 off 84 balls. So, as I said, he's 52 not out off 91 balls. Travis Head is 142 not out with 13 fours and 2 sixes. What to expect tomorrow? So I think Australia obviously so far in front of this game, but you don't want to even open the door a little bit for England. Make that lead 500 plus. Australia could legitimately say, we're going to bat the first 2 sessions tomorrow, make that lead astronomical, and then go out tomorrow when England are absolutely cooked, bowl last session tomorrow, and then finish them off on day 5. But obviously Australia are going to retain the Ashes at the Adelaide Oval, and it is going to be utter humiliation for this English team. Utter humiliation for the Stokes-McCullum reign. Stokes has been valiant. He's fought, but one player can't drag a team across the line in Australia. You need more contributors, and he's had nobody helping him. Archer's definitely a talented cricketer, but it feels to me that he's just not quite there when you need him. When the match is on the line, where's Jofra? But also he's had no support. So it's just embarrassing for England. It's embarrassing that they even thought they had a chance. It's embarrassing that their fans thought they had a chance. I mean, they had to sort of look at some of their performances and think, realistically, can this English side challenge Australia? And it's all come to nothing. Absolutely nothing. But, heroes is for Australia. Heroes all across the park. Head, Carey, Stark, Cummins and Lyon returning. And I think Lyon could be a huge factor in this 4th innings, because the pitch is going to turn. It's going to break up. We can already see it starting to go up and down. So I see Australia being really dangerous in this 4th innings. England will be batting for pride, try and bat out the match for a draw. I don't think they're even dumb enough to go for like 500 in 4 sessions. But what a day for Australia. Travis Head's day, South Australia's day. I mean, this test match has had record-breaking crowds. I've got the message here from Cricket Australia. The final attendance today was 53,696. This new Christmas test in Adelaide has taken off. 3 huge crowds. If they get a crowd of just over 40,000 tomorrow, that will mean they break the record for highest attendance in any test at the Adelaide Oval, which was set in 2017-18 Ashes. So, this test has been a huge success on and off the field, and it has been, stirring performances, as I said, from so many players. So Australia, 356 in front. They will start tomorrow in celebration mode. Be great if Carey could stay out there and make a big score. If Travis Head could make a really big one. And then there's Josh Inglis to come, who needs some runs. And then they can unleash the Australian bowling attack on this hapless, hopeless English team, and we can watch them crumble, and we can go to bed now on Christmas Eve knowing that the urn is returned. That's right. We can all relax. There'll be no heroics from this English team. Just hapless, hopeless performances. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in to the Cricket Unfiltered podcast. I'm Manners, of course. This is the longest running cricket podcast in Australia. First started in 2013. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the show. Leave a comment, leave a review, share it on social media. We have great merchandise out. So there's a link in the episode notes if you're listening to this. But thanks everybody for watching and listening. And I'll be back after day 4's play.